All right, in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at the reading section of IELTS test. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at developing reading skills. So let's start the lesson. All right, so the purpose of this lesson is going to be developing reading skills. The activities that we are going to be looking at are going to be surveying. So this is one of the skills that you will need for your reading test. Surveying is mainly, matching short answer questions, skimming, marking up the text, and scanning, finding keywords and completing a table. All right, these are some of the skills that you will need for your reading text, and then we'll go and do some test practice. All right. So the first thing, let's just talk about the reading test. What is IELTS reading test? Reading test, in the reading test, there are 40 questions. All right. The skills that are tested here include a reading for gist, reading for the main idea, reading for main ideas, reading for detail, skimming, the ability to skim, understand logical arguments, and recognizing writers' opinions, attitudes, and purpose. The test takes 60 minutes, and the IELTS academic reading test include 3 long texts, which range from the descriptive and factual to discursive and analytical. Okay. The IELTS general training, on the other hand, has 3 sections. Section 1 may contain 2 or 3 short texts or several shorter texts. Section 2 comprises 2 texts. In Section 3, there is 1 long text. These texts include extracts from books, magazines, newspapers, notices, advertisements, company handbooks, and guidelines. There are materials that you are likely to encounter on a daily basis. So in a general reading test, they are going to be testing you situations that you're going to encounter in your daily life on a daily basis in an English speaking environment. All right. So let's do first activity. In this activity, we're going to be focusing on reading skills for IELTS reading test. The main problem here, most of the students that they struggle with is the time. Time is a big issue here. So we're going to make sure that, you are not running out of time, and we'll focus on, how you can learn all these skills. If you have a very good, strong grip on these skills, then you will not run out of time. Now we're going to look at 3 texts or sections, and they're going to be 40 questions. So in IELTS test, there are 3 texts or sections and 40 questions to answer in 60 minutes. It is crucial to read differently to be more efficient and effective. You can't be just reading everything. You have to make sure that you have skills like scanning and skimming. 3 ways of reading include, and these are the skills that you will learn in this lecture. Surveying is a different way of looking at the text. Skimming is a different way. Scanning is a different way. So these are 3 skills that you need to really master to be able to do great in your reading test. These are the skills that are very important in the reading test. Now, let's just understand identifying reading skill. Let's just do an activity here. Work with your partner. Again, this is an online course. You will be working on your own. Discuss the following scenarios. You're casually looking around in a bookshop or online, looking for something to read. What do you look at, right? Just think about it. You're casually looking around in a bookshop or online. Let's say you're browsing on Amazon Books, looking for something to read. What do you look at? What do you look at in the start, before reading the actual book? You are looking at a news website or newspaper, and you see an article that you like, that you think might be interesting. What do you do? And you are looking at your email inbox for an important email. What do you look for, right? Let's just think about it. Pause the video here, think about these questions, and write down some responses. And when you come back, we're going to discuss some responses. All right, you might have had a chance to look at it on your own and maybe come up with some responses. The possible answers here is that if you're looking casually around a bookshop, looking for something to read, what do you look at? You look at the title, author, the cover, the blurb. The blurb is a small short summary at the back of the book or in the front of the book. on the back, price, you look at the price, how long or how short is your, intended reading book. Question number 2, you are looking at news website or newspaper and you see an article that you think might be interesting. What do? Quickly look at parts of the article, headline, pictures, photos, subheadings to see if it really is interesting. So if, for example, you're looking at a newspaper, obviously you'll be looking at pictures, headlines and all these kind of things before you read the whole article, right? So that's the main starting point of reading an article. The third question asks you are looking at an email inbox for an important email. What do you look for? Quickly look down the list of the email for the name and a subject, right? So you look at the name, who the sender is, and what's their intended subject is, and then you read the questions, right? So that's your starting point. So these are the things that you will also need to do when you are starting to read an IELTS reading question. All right, let's look at number 2. Let's do this activity. I want you to you're going to match each reading skill with its description. So what do you think surveying is? What do you think skimming is? What do you think scanning is? Match it to the right description. Pause the video here, and when you come back, then we will discuss what they really are. All right. All right, let's look at the answers. So surveying basically is number 3, looking at a text very quickly before reading to get an idea of layout, just like in an email. When you were looking to read an email in your inbox, you were looking at the name, its subject, right? You're surveying, what actually is. So the activity that we did just now was about surveying the text, right? So looking at the text very quickly before reading to get an idea of the layout, title, pictures, graphs, headings, glossary, etc. B is 1. So skimming means reading a text very quickly to get a general understanding and to get an idea of the organization of the text. It's also read for the main purpose and the gist, right? You're trying to get an idea of what the text is about. Scanning is 2, reading a text with the specific purpose of extracting information such as numbers, facts, words. So you're looking for specific information in the text. So you are scanning for that keyword in the text and reading around it to get an idea of what that information might relate to. All right, so let's do this activity here. So let's do this activity number 4, answer these questions. You read the article on the left-hand side, and I want you to answer question 4 with all of these questions from A to E. Does this text have a title? Does it have subheadings? Does it have diagrams or pictures, glossary? And how long is the text? Is it half page, 3/4, or it's 1 page? So do this, pause the video here, do this exercise on your own. Quickly, what you're doing is basically surveying the text here, and then when you come back, we'll reveal the answers. All right, the answers are, does this text have a title? Yes, it does. Does it have any subheadings? No, it doesn't. Does it have any diagrams or pictures? No. And does it have a glossary? Yes, it does. And how long is the text? It's a 3/4 page text. All right, now let's just try to understand how skimming works. So skimming for gist and organization. Skimming for gist and organization, in a good academic writing, each paragraph has one main topic, right? So when you're writing, and we will discuss this in your writing part as well of the IELTS test, a good paragraph should always start with a main topic. Okay, it should have a main topic and should start, the first sentence should be about main topic, right? And this is expressed as a topic sentence. So this paragraph starts with the topic sentence, gives you an idea, what this paragraph is going to be about, and then it flows with examples and other extra information. Locating and reading the topic sentence is essential to understand the gist and the organization of the text. Okay, it's very important that you read the first paragraph and the last paragraph to kind of understand, what the topic of this or what the gist of this paragraph is. Now you have 60 seconds to skim the same text by locating, reading, and underlining the topic sentence in each paragraph and reading the final sentence in each paragraph. So that's the activity that we're going to do now. All right, let's look at this example here. You guys skim the text very quickly, read the first and the last sentence of each paragraph, highlight or underline the topic sentences of each paragraph. I want you to pause the video here, do this exercise on your own, read the first and last sentence of each paragraph, highlight or underline the topic sentence of each paragraph, okay? All right, let's look at this. In this exercise, what you're supposed to do basically is you have to work on your own because it's an online course. Using the information in the topic sentence only, decide in which paragraph, A, B, or C, you would look in to find the following information, right? So you've got 3 paragraphs here, right? And what is, you've got a bunch of information in the table. You could see A, B, C, D, and E. Where would you find, in which paragraph are you going to look to find this specific information? All right. By reading the first topic sentence, you should get an idea. Sometimes you will not. You'll need further reading possible. So pause the video here, do this exercise on your own. For example, different species of beetle, where would you find that? How the beetles get into the field, what happens at different parts of the year, what the beetles do inside the cow pad, and information about climate and the beetles. In which paragraph are you going to find it? All right, pause the video here, do this exercise on your own. When you come back, we'll reveal the answers. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at the paragraphs and find the information. Let's just look at this information now. So the answers are different species of beetle. You can find this in C, paragraph C. How the beetles get into the field. You'll find that information in A, what happens at different parts of the year. You'll find that information in C, and what beetles do inside of the cow pad. You'll find that information in B, and information about climate and the beetles. You'll find that information in C. So let's just look at E, for example. If you wanted to, information about climate and the beetles, let's just go to paragraph C and see if we can find that. For maximum dung burial in spring, summer, and autumn, farmers require a variety of species and with overlapping periods of activity. In the cooler environment of the state of Victoria, the large fringe species, 2.5 centimeters long, is matched with smaller half the size, temperature, climate, Spanish species. So it's talking about information about climate and the beetles. It's talking about the climate in the cooler. What do you find in the temperate climate? What do you find? So and so on. Right, so it's pretty easy to understand reading from the first paragraph as well. All right, let's just keep moving. Now we're gonna learn the skill of scanning, right? Scanning is for specific words, for keywords. So scanning is reading a text with specific purpose of extracting information such as numbers, facts, words, etc. All right, let's look at this activity. Work with a partner. Let's just look at exercise 9. I want you to look at specific words in this table. So you've got a table here. You've got species, French, Spanish, and South African ball roller. You've got size. You've got preferred climate. You've got complementary. Start. What are the? Let's just look at activity number. What the table is showing and what are the keywords. So let's just look at activity number 7. The table is really showing you the species. You have to read the column headers. So column headers are going to tell you the keywords here. So you're looking for species, you've got size, you've got all the information for French species, right? But you are looking for information for Spanish species, right? And for Spanish species, you're looking for preferred climate, complementary species, not really, start of active period, and you're looking for number of generations per year. In terms of South African ball roller, you're looking for preferred climate, complementary species as well. All right. Now work on your own. If you're with a partner, you can do that. Most likely not, because this is an online course. Discuss what information is missing about the Spanish and the Spanish species and South African species. Try to do this activity on your own. Scan for specific words or keywords in the article and come up with the answers, and pause the video here. And and once you come back, we will review the answers. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at the information here. Right, so let's look at this information. You've got the answers on the top right-hand corner. You can see that. So in terms of number 9, the correct answer is information about 3 species of beetle. So activity number 7, what is the table showing? It's showing information about 3 species of beetle. What are the keywords? French, Spanish, South African ball rolling, and ball roller. This is just giving you the answers for activity number question number 7. Let's look at this activity once more, and you might have come up with the answers. Let's do this, close read these keywords. And if you want to pause the video again, just to quickly do it again, you can do it. But when you come back, we'll reveal the answers from 9 to 13. All right, let's look at answers from 9 to 13. The first answer is temperate. So Spanish species preferred climate is temperate, right? As given, if you could see, in paragraph C, you could see that in a Spanish, just before Spanish species, it's mentioned that their preferred climate is temperate climate. And then we talk about start of active period. It's early spring, so it's also mentioned in the second sentence. So the former or slower to recover from the winter cold and produce only 1 to 2 generations. So early spring is the answer here. So in the end, you would see that it says and produce only 1 or 2 generations of offsprings from the late spring until autumn. The latter, so it's talking about first French, and then the latter is the Spanish, which multiply rapidly in early spring. Multiply in early spring. So that's the active period. It's a start of active period, right? Then it talks about number of generations per year. It does talk about 2 to 5, right? And produce only 2 to generate the latter produce 2 to 5. Latter is basically the Spanish species, 2 to 5 generations annually. So it gives you the information there. In the last paragraph of C, you can see that it mentions information about South African ball roller. Preferred climate is subtropical. It says the South African ball rolling species being a subtropical beetle, right? So it gives you that information. And complementary species, what are complementary species? Prefers the climate of northern and coastal New South Wales, where it commonly works with the South African tunneling species. So South African tunneling, or just tunneling, is the correct answer. At the end of this presentation, I'll just stop sharing, and let's just discuss this very quickly. So these are the 3 skills that you need to really master the skill of reading. Survey the text, understand what kind of information is presented to you. Secondly, you have to skim the text. If you're looking for the main idea, the gist, you get the main idea. Please read sentence 1 and the last sentence. Sentence 1 normally is the topic sentence, gives you an idea of what the paragraph is about. You may need further reading. You may need to read the whole paragraph, but the reading's first paragraph is really going to give you an idea of what the paragraph is going to be about. And lastly, we discussed the third skill that you need to do is your scanning. So you scan for keywords. When you have a table form activity, you will have to scan for keywords in the paragraph and read around those, and you will get the answers. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next one.